What is going on, guys? My name is Anton and welcome back to a brand new Discord related video. In this video I'm going to write a role reaction bot. I'm going to teach you guys how to do so. We're going to be using the Discord Pi library. So for Python programmers, this video is perfect for you. I did a video like this about 4 months ago using the Discord JS library, and it was pretty cool. I liked it a lot. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to make sure you have set up are your emojis, obviously. I have 5 that I'm going to be using here. I also do have my roles set up. As you can see, the Java, Node.js, and Python role are exactly the same name as the emojis. I can't do C++, or I can't do C because that breaks the rules of the emoji names, because they need to be at least 2 characters long, and it can only contain alphanumeric characters, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So I'm going to have to write an if-else case to make sure that I can, know if they reacted with the C++ emoji or the C emoji. Okay. And also, next thing you want to make sure you have set up after the emojis and after the roles is make sure you have a text channel set up so users can actually go to that channel and look for, for example, role select, right? You go to the role select channel, and what can you expect? Well, if I react to, whichever one of these messages with the corresponding emoji, then it's going to give me the right role, right? So you want to make sure you have your message set up. So in this case, I'm telling my users, okay, if you react with the Python reaction, you're going to get the Python role. C++, you're going to get the C++ role. C, Java, Node.js, pretty straightforward. Okay, so I think with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the coding part. So let's go ahead and get started. So obviously, the first thing you want to do is have your Discord library imported. You want to create an instance of your bot, and you're gonna want to run your bot. So I have my bot being ran with this token over here. So I'm going to do @client.event because we're going to handle 2 different events. We're going to handle the what's it called? The on_raw message reaction, or on_raw reaction add is what it's called. We're going to be using this event over here. There are 2 different events, so I will explain the difference between these 2. Okay? So the on_reaction_add event, the one that takes in 2 parameters, it takes in a reaction object and a user object. Okay, this event is only emitted if the message is in the internal message cache. So whenever you are sending messages on your Discord, if your bot is online, the bot will cache, basically temporarily store those messages, and it's in the internal message cache, right? And it's obviously not going to store it for forever. It's going to eventually have to clear up the older messages to make room for newer messages. So if your bot is not online at the time, then those messages are most likely not going to be cached, and a message that was sent probably like 30 days ago is guaranteed probably not going to be in the cache, right? And if your bot goes offline and comes back online, the cache is resetted, right? Because it's volatile. So there's that, right? Now the on_raw reaction add does the same thing as on_reaction add. The only difference is that 1, it takes in a payload parameter, which is an instance of a raw reaction action event. And the biggest important part of this event is that it doesn't matter if the message is not in the cache. It'll basically work for every single message that's being reacted to. So let's say, for example, if your bot is offline and it comes online, all the messages are not in the cache, right? But if you react to any of them, it'll still emit this raw event. So if you remember if for those that watched the Discord JS video, we had to manually emit the message reaction add event through the raw event. Okay, but luckily the Discord Pi library has this separate event for us, so we can just use this and without having to worry about much. The only thing we have to do is just kind of like format the code a little bit. We're gonna have to retrieve the user object, and we're gonna have to retrieve the role object ourselves because we just have this payload over here. Okay, and if we look at the payload, it has 5 properties that we can use, which is going to be good. So let's go ahead and just get started. Alright, so we're going to do async def on message reaction add. Actually, I'm sorry, it should be on raw reaction add. This takes in the payload, don't forget that. Okay, so now what we're gonna want to do is let's go ahead and let's just print out something first. Hello. Let me run my bot. Bot's being restarted. Okay. If I go ahead and if I react to this right now with, let's just react with the C++ emoji. You're gonna see it says hello, right? And because this message was obviously not cached because the bot was offline, we can see that this works, and that's fine. It's exactly what we want. Okay. We're also going to handle another event. It's called async_def on raw reaction remove, which is literally the inverse, right? But we're going to deal with the reaction add first. So let's go ahead and create a variable called message ID. Set that equal to payload dot message underscore ID. So that's a property of the payload object. Okay. So I'm going to do my check. I'm going to say if message ID is equal to this message ID over here. We're just making sure that they're the same. We don't want the user reacting to random messages and having the bot add them to the role that way. We want to make sure they are reacting to the correct message. And let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see this better. Okay, so if they react to that message, then what do we want to do next? Okay, well, the next thing we want to do is we want to get the guild object, because what we need to do is we need to get the role object, the actual role object that we want to add the user to. And to get that, we need to get the guild object first. So let's go ahead and do guild underscore ID equals payload.guild underscore ID, just in case we might need this guild ID again. Again, all I'm doing is I'm extracting the information from the payload object, which is an instance of raw reaction action events. Okay, excuse me. All right, so I'm going to say guild is equal to discord.utils.find. We're going to pass in an anonymous function. So we're going to say lambda g, and we're going to say g.id is equal to the guild underscore ID variable that we declared earlier. And we're going to pass in the iterable client.guild. So all I'm doing here is I'm just using the utility function that's part of the Discord library called find. And this allows us to search for anything we want. All we need to do is pass in the predicate and the iterable. Okay, so what exactly are we trying to search for? Well, we're going to search through all of the guilds, but we only want to return the one that matches the correct ID. And when I say all the guilds, basically, it's going to search through all the guilds that the bot can see, that the bot is in, right? And we want to make sure we're in the right guild. So g.id equals guild underscore ID. And we're going to have to pass in the iterable. So client.guild is going to, it's basically the collection of all the guilds that the bot can see. Okay. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get the role. So we're going to say role equal discord.utils. I'm going to do .get. So here I'm going to pass in the guild.roles iterable, and I'm going to have to say name equal C++. Now, actually, I will mention this right now. We have to do an if else case. So if whoops. Okay, so typically I'm actually supposed to do name equals emoji.name or payload.emoji.name. But remember this, the C++ and the C emojis are not the same name as the role names. So we have to kind of manually do two checks. Right? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to say if payload.emoji.name is equal to C++, print C++ role. Else if payload.emoji.name equals C or emoji name. So actually that should be CPP and CLang. Okay, so before I do anything else, let me just make sure my logic is correct, which I'm pretty sure it is, but I just want to make sure I wrote it correctly. So let's react with the C emoji, C roll, and let's go ahead and react with the C++. Now, again, you don't have to do this if every single one of your emojis, their names are the same thing as the roles. But because I can't type C++ for this emoji, I have to do these two cases, which is okay since it's only two, but, you know, there might be a better solution out there that I don't know of yet. And we're just going to do else name equal emoji dot or payload dot emoji dot name. Okay. All right. So if the emoji name is equal to CPP, then we want to get the C++ role. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say role equal. Well, I'm going to just paste this in. So it's the same thing, but this time we're going to do name equal C++ because right now we're trying to find the role, and the name of the role is C++. That's the role that corresponds with that emoji. Do the same thing here, CLang. Or actually, no, it's just C, sorry. And we're just going to do... if role is not none, print role.name. Let's just make sure we have this all good to go. It's always good to debug your code while you're writing it. Let's go ahead and do Python first. So Python, there we go. If I do, let me get rid of these two. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do C++. There we go, C++ and C. Perfect. So we know that the role object is an actual role object. It's not null or it's not none, basically. Okay, so we can use it. So what's next is we now have the role, so we're going to now add the user to the role. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get the user. So to get the user, what we need to do is we need to use the discord.utils.find. You could use get, but I'm just going to use find. And I'm going to say lambda m.id equals payload.user.id. And we're going to have to pass in the iterable, so that's going to be guild.members. So the guild object from earlier that we used the find function to get, that object has a property called members, which is a collection of all the members in that current guild. Okay, and I'm going to say if member is not none, just do a quick error just to make sure everything goes smoothly. We're going to say await member.add underscore roles. We're going to do role. Okay, just do print done. And then else print member not found, else print role not found. Okay, so let's go ahead and test this out. Okay, so let me actually get rid of all these emojis. Let's go ahead and remove all of our roles. So we're going to react with the C++ role. And did that do anything? Object has no attribute user. Oh, I messed up the big time. Well, not big time. It should be user underscore ID. Whoops, payload.user. No, payload.user underscore ID. Okay. We're okay, guys, don't worry. So let's do that again, and there we go. We have the C++ role. Let's go ahead and give ourselves the C role. We have the C role. Let's give ourselves the Python role. We have the Python role, perfect. And let's make sure Node.js works. And the last one was Java. So perfect. So all of these roles work. But now if we unreact from all these, it's not going to remove us from the roles, right? But that's okay because we can go ahead and write the code for it. And literally the code is going to be the same thing. So you can actually just copy and paste all of this stuff over here and just literally just paste that over here. You're going to copy everything from above. The only difference here is instead of adding, we're just going to remove, and it's just going to do add underscore remove. I'm pretty sure that's the name of the function actually. Remove underscore roles. Okay, yeah, there we go. Remove roles. There we go. And with the role reaction, you're only adding one role at a time for every time you react. So this is all going to happen once. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this again. Let's react with C++, C++. Let's unreact, and let's see what's wrong over here. Oh, I messed up again. What am I doing? Should be remove roles. What am I doing? Okay, there we go. And that should be it. So let's remove ourselves from this role real quick. Okay, so let's go ahead and add the reaction clang. Let's unreact. There we go. Perfect. So let's go ahead and just give ourselves every single role real quick. Python, C++, clang. Okay, unreact. Now if I go ahead and if I react with Facebook, it's gonna give me, okay, that doesn't work. Okay, that's fine. That's from another video, but don't worry about that for now. But again, yeah. So yeah, hopefully all of this made sense. Like I said, it's very easy. This code was literally 57 lines of code. So, if I get rid of this, it's going to be even less. So we'll just say it's like about 50 lines of code. So it's really easy. It's obviously not that hard. And of course, if you're writing this just for your own server, you're going to have to write a couple of if-else cases just to check the emoji. Obviously there is probably a better way to go about it to make it more dynamic, which I'll probably, go ahead and figure it out. I'm pretty sure it's not too difficult. But yeah, I will post this code down below. I'm going to post it on my GitHub. So I know in my previous videos, a lot of people have been requesting the code. So I will leave a link in the description for that. And so you guys can actually just copy and paste it and play around with it. And yeah, so hopefully this video helped you guys out. And if you enjoyed it, please leave a like and leave a comment, letting me know your feedback or whatever. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.